Welcome to the Floating Vibe Podcast, Episode 7. I'm your host, Rick Stevens. We have a special guest here today, brought to you by Local 1403, a man who needs no introduction.
Jason Patton, Fire Department Chronicles. I'm a South Florida firefighter for 15 lovely years so far. Fire Department Coffee, just all over the interwebs, you know?
Boom. So I'm glad to have you here. Glad to have you sit down and have a talk with us. For the people who don't really know you, can you tell us a little bit something about yourself? Who is Jason?
Who is Jason? It's a lot. I don't sleep very often. Just a normal guy. I grew up in a normal family. My dad was a mechanic, and my mom did mortgages. She's been in the mortgage business her entire life. I actually got into the fire service just because of happenstance. A friend of mine said, hey, you should try out EMT school. Went to EMT school, loved it, and kind of then went paramedic fire, and now I'm here. I tried being a mechanic. I was a horrific mechanic. So, but yeah, man, that's pretty much the nutshell. No, yeah, I don't know. Whatever that phrase is, that thing.
How do mechanics deal with cars these days? Because back in the days when I wasn't a mechanic, but
Yeah.
we changed the oil, we did basic stuff, and you can get to stuff.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you open up your hood, and you got to take everything apart, or you can't even get to things.
Yeah, even when I got into it, my father was a mechanic for 20 years prior to me getting into it. So he would tell stories about like what the cars were like what it was like working on whatever it was at the time. But even when I got into it, they had just started really, really, really getting computerized, which was cool to see. And then I remember the Ford Windstar, that was the first time they had like 10 plus computers inside of it. So even when I was getting into it, it was insane, just the amount of technology and data. And then, like you said, just trying to access things it was so bad, man. So it was fun to work on like an older car every once in a while to enjoy the little bit. Because engineers don't care about us, man. They're like, oh yeah, just shove this oil filter directly above the exhaust manifold and right over the CV axle. Let him burn himself. Who cares?
So we kind of skipped over your childhood. I know, how were you? Do you have any brothers, sisters, family down here? Were you guys originally from Florida?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Florida, as well as my two brothers. I have two brothers, Josh and Colby. My one brother is 36, and ladies and gentlemen, that was his watch that just went off. He forgot to silence it before the podcast. But then my other brother is 32. They're great, man. My parents were like amazing. We grew up in a great household. My mom was originally from Kentucky. My dad was from Ohio, and just a normal like lifestyle. I was a really bad kid. I actually ended up on a in a place called Eagle Academy at one point in time. Yeah.
Do tell.
There's a documentary on me. Funny enough, my first time on film. It's called High School Boot Camp. It was and you can see me with blonde hair, and blonde curly hair, and I say in the video, no more beef. I don't know what that was, but I said it.
All right.
So, if you want to see the genesis of me, my origin, just a normal like upbringing.
Play sports?
I did not play sports.
What?
No, I mean, I played when I was really small. So played like a little bit of soccer, baseball, dabbled in it, but never got like really, really heavy into it. I didn't start like being physically fit until I was in my mid-20s.
Okay. Did you go to college anywhere down here?
No, I actually, dude, I gotta tell you, the fact that I am an anomaly within like whatever the statistics would be for people like me, I dropped out of 9th grade. I was expelled. But I dropped out. Yeah. And I ended up getting my GED and ended up in college before my class was graduating high school.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was just, thank God I made the right decisions at the right time. Eagle Academy was huge in that. And I was able to kind of get back to a normal place, but definitely an anomaly within that.
And I was here in Florida. You didn't go out of state or anything like that?
No, I've my entire life has been in Florida in some way, shape, or form. That's why I say at one point in time when I retire, I'm gonna probably go somewhere where there's those things called seasons.
All right.
Nice, yeah.
I just don't like cold weather, man. Like
Yeah.
below 50, and I'm like worthless. I don't even want to go outside.
You got that Florida blood, man.
Yes. Actually, I was born in Jamaica, so I'm just used to the
Oh,
heat.
dude. Oh, yeah. Caribbean all the way.
So your brothers, anybody else in the family a firefighter or in the fire service?
No one in my family's in the fire service, and I'm the first generation of it at this point. My daughter, I don't know what I got a 7-year-old daughter. I don't know what she wants to do yet. She's a doctor last week, a nurse the week after, and then a teacher after that. But no, and I got to tell you, my brother Josh, we talked about it. I was like, man, it might be a great career, but if he sees a needle or sees blood, he like vomits and passes out. So I was like, that's probably not gonna work out for you. My other brother Colby, he could probably pull it off. He's got the right mentality for it, but he works for a company that does large like installs for like Mary Kay when they want to put on like a really big production. He does that, and he is the utter opposite of me. Like if we go jet skiing on the weekend, before we go out, he's pulling out his the manual and reading the instructions. I'm just like, hey,
Who
let's
reads instructions?
yeah, I don't know. He does. But yeah, definitely not me.
It's got to be a YouTube video here somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly 100%. Yeah.
So how'd you end up? So you say you went to EMT school, you went to paramedic school. Where did you go to the fire academy?
PBSC. It was PBCC at the time. We
Okay.
were actually we were the last class to go where it used to be like right behind Palm Beach PBI, Palm Beach International. It was like in a hangar that was like right in that area. Yeah, because we weren't allowed to park. We weren't allowed to back into spots. We had to park head in so they could look at our license plates and
Oh.
everything. But yeah, we were the last class before they moved over to the campus, and they have a really cool facility. So it was a great place. The captain or the guy that was running it is my instructor. His name was Kerry Weiss. Kerry was an awesome dude. He actually is the reason I got hired with Riviera, so it worked out really well.
Which was the department I had applied to.
Yeah.
But so you get out of the academy, everything is great. How long did it take you to find a job? Because I don't know if it's the same as my experience was. It took me forever. At one point, I was like, I'm never gonna get a job.
How long when did you get on?
I got on. Well, my first apartment was Monroe County. I was
Okay.
there for about a year. Then I worked in Deerfield Beach for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I came here in 2002. So I've probably been on about 24, 25 years.
Okay.
But it actually took me, after I went to fire school and became a medic
Yeah.
and a fire inspector, I never took my state test. It took me about 5 or 6 years to get hired after that.
Yeah. That's most people were like that, man. Until like now, like people are desperate. Like what do we need to give you for your job work?
Right,
Which
right.
is crazy, man, because this literally is the greatest job in the world. I actually got hired in 2008, right in the middle of the hiring freeze.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, my keynote speaker for my class, my mom was so mad because he comes up and like does this speech, and at the end of the speech, he's like, hey, 48 firefighters died last year doing our job. We're currently in the worst hiring freeze in modern history. I'm like, Jesus. Yeah, this is great. So no, I got hired, and funny enough, man, and this is what I think, fate, luck, whatever you want to believe. I am graduating on a Thursday. Riviera is closing their applications on that Friday.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, so tight. So Kerry Weiss, he says, hey, he goes, my old department is hiring. Guys might want to go there. No one wanted to go because it was the lowest paying in South Florida at the time. I was like, I don't care. Like, it's a job. So I went and applied, and it took about 6 months after that, and I got the call, which was incredible. And no one else in my class got hired for a few years. Like, it took a long time for anyone to get hired because the hiring freeze was so
Right.
bad. So yeah, I just didn't listen to other people because they were like, I don't want to make $35,000. It was $32,000 a year is what I was making when I started, and or 36. And I was like, dude, I don't care. It's a job, man. I'll take it. This is what I want to do.
Similar with me, man. My first apartment, it was Key West. Who wants to commute to, not
Yeah.
Key West, but you could work at any one of the islands before they all started incorporating.
Yeah.
But it was $24,000, $22,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
no Kelly Day, no union.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, no, I'm not going to go down there. I was like, dude, I just want a job.
Yeah. I had a guy that worked for our department. Teams is his last name. Guy, super, like, really, really knowledgeable guy. He worked there for 8 years. And I was like, you don't have a Kelly Day? He goes, no Kelly Day. And I was like, how long were you driving there? Because he lives in Broward. He was driving 4 hours to work. 4 hours to work. And I was like, that is the dedication that most people don't possess, man. Like, because you couldn't live in the area because they got paid so little at the time. And so he couldn't afford to live there, so he had to drive from Broward County down there, man. I was like, that's impressive. So when he got hired with us, he was like a 40-minute drive. It was the greatest day of his life. Every time he
Wow.
showed to work, yeah, it was super impressive.
The one thing that I was most envious of was the guys who lived in territory.
Mm,
It's like, hey man, I forgot my pillow.
yeah,
Oh yeah, we'll just run by the station. Or hey, my wife just made me dinner
yeah,
because whatever. I was always jealous of that because I could never do that.
yeah.
So it was cool finally getting a job here in Miami, and it was just like I said, man, it was just the best thing that's ever happened to me.
That's
Because I
awesome, man.
worked a bunch of terrible jobs, flipped hamburgers,
Yeah, oh yeah,
worked in factories,
oh yeah,
swept, Winn Dixie. I mean, I've done everything,
yeah.
and
And you can typically tell that between the guys that are lucky and they put the work in that they're really really young. They got lucky and they get hired at 18 or 19 years old, whatever it is, and there's not the appreciation for the guy that's laying tiles on a roof, or the mechanics that, because when I was a mechanic, man, we got paid. It's called flat rate. So you don't get paid an hourly rate. You get paid whatever that job pays.
right.
So there were days where I made 0.3 hours for the entire day. I changed one oil and that's what I made. So of my $15 an hour that I was making at the time, like I'm walking out of there with $5 for the day, like crazy, man. So like not a lot of people have an appreciation for stuff like that.
So you get hired. Do you remember your first call?
I remember my first like major call. My first major call was so this lady gets in a car accident. We pull up on scene. I'm riding backwards on an engine, and there was a ladder truck, and I go to jump out, but I don't have any bunker gear on because we didn't have a recruit class. It was I swear to God, I still have a letter. You show up with enough. It said, "Congratulations on your hire. You're showing up on June 18, 2008. Bring enough food for 24 hours." Like that was the hire. I was like, oh, okay. We've since progressed and now we have hiring classes. But so I show up there and this guy walks me in. He's like, he goes, "Hey man, take this trash out every day. Mop these are the floors you're gonna mop. Fill this ice bucket." And he opened up the refrigerator and he goes, "And if you touch my ketchup, I'm gonna kill you." I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's so I get on my we get this call for, it was a motor vehicle accident. It was a Beeline Highway and military, so it's a pretty significant speeds. So we get there, it's an extrication. I jump out of the truck. I don't have my coat on. My captain's like, "Get your coat on, rookie." I run back, grab my coat, they throw it on. And they are prepping the door. They're getting a purchase point to be able to pop the door. I just grabbed the door and started pulling on it. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm sorry, I have so much adrenaline right now." So it was, it always, like, I always like kind of return back to that thought and remember like what it's like for that first call. But yeah, it's the greatest job in the world, man. Like, and then it was just, just an outrageous amount of ridiculous calls.
Were you able to sleep? 'Cause I know my first day, I was just like, I don't want to miss a call, and I was
Yeah.
just like,
We have rookies that just sleep in the recliners. I'm like, dude, go to bed. If
Right.
you don't wake up, I'll come wake you up, man.
Right.
Like, it's fine. Like, yeah.
how long you been with Riviera Beach?
15 years.
Was that the only department you applied for? So
Yeah.
it's just one and done.
Dude, actually, I was in the process with City of Orlando at the time.
Okay. Solid
So
department.
yeah, great department. I'd gone through like probably 3/4 of their hiring process. I think all I had left was like a Chiefs interview or something like that. So, and I actually got the call for the Chiefs interview about 3 months into working for Riviera.
Decisions.
I was like, "I'm not going anywhere, man. Like, I'm already hired." Like, I have a big issue with like changing things when they're like good. Like if I'm
Right.
like, I got a job, plus I'm looking at everyone else around me that can't find jobs, they can't do anything. And God knows if Chronicles would have ever happened if I worked
probably
for
would
them. Yeah.
never
Yeah,
happened.
probably not.
We're-
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, man, that's awesome, man. For me, my application, my job process was long. I applied from Key West to Orlando to Tampa,
Mhm.
and I was just doing the circuit,
Yep.
just putting applications, doing interviews. I was like, I'm never gonna get hired, but it finally happened.
Yeah.
So, you have a great career. You've been on there. You said there, what,
15
years,
Yeah.
and you're a
Driver.
driver.
Mhm.
And how long you been doing that?
I just got promoted about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Congrats.
Yeah. Dude, that was the greatest day of my life, man. It was so good, dude.
How was this? How was the process of getting promoted? Is it like similar to us where you have to study.
Yeah.
Guys are like Adderall out. I mean, no, they study.
What you're not going to know is something got edited out in between. Yeah, it's same with us. And what was cool to see was our department kind of step up and say like, hey, if we're the drivers are going to be the next step to the captain, so we need to kind of set the bar. One thing they did that was interesting is they made all the drivers become medics, and yeah, so you had to be a medic before you could get promoted. Which there was mixed feelings about that, but I thought it was a good thing. The grandfathering some people in probably would have been nice, but it was cool to see them do that, because what happened prior to that was if you could be a promoted driver, and if a medic calls out in a box and they don't have any other medics, you get bumped down to the box. yeah. So it didn't happen very often, but it did happen, and
you better get your rest of work.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I saw you out last night. You come to work, right?
We had guys like, I'm going home, right? But no, they stepped up, man, and they kind of implemented those types of things, and then they made the testing process like really hard, man. It was really, really hard. In fact, I didn't pass it the first time. Like, yeah, I got a 69. Like I missed it by 1 point. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, man. But they made it to where you actually have to study to do it. So ours was got to be a medic. You have to have your pup operator and then your aerial operator as well. So it was cool, man. It was cool to sit down and pass the test and then do the hands-on portion of it. And I liked it, man. It was really cool.
Awesome, man. Like here, if you're not putting in 1,000 hours, you're not getting made. Because the guys who are, say what you want about this newer generation, younger generation, but they're a lot smarter. And they're coming to the table. I mean, like, high 90s is top 10.
Dude, I want to say we had scores ranging from 98 to like 94. And it was that was most of the people.
Wow.
So like it was you're right, man. Like you got to, especially in a department like this, bro. Like you guys, what do you got? Like 500,000 people sitting for like it's insane, man. Like
we got a lot of people.
Yeah. We got a ton of people sitting for that test, man. So you better score high, otherwise it's not going to happen. How long is your list last? 2 years?
1 year.
1 year? Oh
Yeah,
wow, holy
every
crap.
year.
Let's go.
So yeah, listen. I came from smaller departments where Deerfield Beach, somebody had to retire or die. For him to be a list.
Yes.
And there we had rule of threes.
Yep.
So if you piss off the wrong people,
Yep, they just skip right over you.
they'll just skip right over you. and we've seen that happen.
Yeah. And that's I think we have the rule of fives with us, something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But you know what? For the most part, the Chiefs are really good, man. They follow as long as, like you said, you haven't done something like ridiculous. But yeah, man, I can honestly say the promotional studying, the taking the test and all, is probably one of the most stressful things you will deal with, man.
It is.
It's because it's really, 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 like, it's taxing, man.
And you don't want to do it again.
No. I gotta, at some point in the next 3 to 4 years, try to get promoted to captain, and it's a lot, man.
That was probably the most I've ever studied, because for a lieutenant, there's more spots.
Yeah.
So you can study and kind of get by with it, but for the captain's test, I didn't go out.
Yeah.
My weekends were gone.
Yeah.
It was just wake up, study, wake up, study, wake up, study. And it was just, you only wanted to do it once.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I understand that, man. But those, like, again, it's good for yourself. It's good, if you get stuck on the box, or even if you get just stuck being a firefighter for too long, man, like, unless that is just what you love, man, you just love routine, showing up every day, great, that's good for you. But for a lot of guys, especially guys that are stuck in the ambulance, man, if you like that takes a really big toll on you, man. Like, kind of getting off that is it's good, refreshing mentally, but also, not just getting beat to death every shift, man. It's good. It's a young man's game on that side, It's
definitely a young man's game. Yeah. 2 back surgeries, knee surgery. It's a young person's game.
It is.
And it's just like it's just a routine calls, but if you have to give, I don't mind giving the whole drug box or going to a blazing fire, but it's just some of those routine calls that's just like,
yeah,
it does take a toll.
Mm-hmm.
So you plan on getting promoted to captain, and Have you thought about being a chief or?
No, God,
Yes.
no. Nobody wants that. That sucks. The world, the fire service as a whole will implode if I become a chief.
I thought about it, but I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm
no.
good. I can't have as much fun anymore.
Yeah. Nah, you know what? And that's with the position I'm in now, if I don't get promoted, I'm fine with that. Like
Right.
it's like I genuinely enjoy my job. And I enjoy because I get to drive the calls. I love that part. I get to pump fires. Like first 10 minutes of a fire, I'm the busiest person running around there, making sure everything's
Absolutely.
set. So and I love that piece of it. But also I do like EMS calls when they're exciting. Like I love jumping in and taking over or supplementing the lead medic that's there. Like I love that piece of it, man, because there's just something really exciting about that. But once you get to that chief's, no way, man. You're just and any like chief will tell you, you just become like a glorified babysitter at that
That's
point
it.
in time. You're just like
Trying to deal with personalities and babysitting adults, adult
like,
men.
you can't say that to another person on the job. Like you're gonna get fired. Please don't do that here. So I mean, chiefs do a great job, man. A good chief on a like a good fire, like a good instant commander, man. It's so incredible to watch them run a scene with 20 units running around, and it's very, very cool. But the day to day, man, it's taxing. It's taxing for a lot of them.
Yeah. So we get to the big question: Fire Department Chronicles. Like what was the genesis of that? How did that come about?
I say the genesis of it is I'm not special. Like there's a 1,000 of me across the world. Because you put a bunch of guys and girls together who have the same kind of mentality, we're gonna end up doing some stupid stuff. And now with technology, there's probably gonna be a camera involved. But yeah, we're just messing around the station. Like the whole thing started with us. It was National Geographic's Fire Department edition.
Okay.
We were hunting for different positions. It was, it started off with the firefighter. We hunted for him, and he was taking a nap in the back. And then the driver engineer, he was sitting in a recliner eating a bowl of ice cream. Actually, he was sleeping, and when I went up to him and got him excited, he started to get mad, and I handed him a bowl of ice cream, and he was like, "Thank you." And just like sat there. So that's what. But the one that kind of like accelerated it, started getting some good views was the paramedic, and we were hunting for them via their natural mating call, which was bitching. And so it was really fun, man, just to see that kind of morph into what it's become today. But I've always said from the beginning, anytime I was making fun of a firefighter, paramedic, or EMT, or driver, or whatever it was me making fun of myself. Like something I've probably done at some point in time during my career.
Well,
everyone got it. Yeah, exactly. So it's morphed into something I never thought it would be, but it's been really, really cool.
Any pushback from the guys or the chiefs? You probably from admin. They probably had a few words with you.
Yeah. So my chief at the time was super cool about the whole thing, and he came to me and he was like, "Hey, listen." He goes, "Some people aren't going to like what you're doing." He goes, "I think it's great. It's cool. It's lighthearted. I always stayed away from race, religion, and politics. No cursing in any of my videos. Like I made sure like it's family friendly, which is very cool because I'll meet families and the 3-year-old son or daughter knows my name. They're like, I love your videos." Yeah. And then I meet a 85-year-old captain. He's from Louisiana. He's got that thick Nolans accent. He's like, "I love your videos." I was like, that's freaking awesome, man. So, I've always tried to keep it to where anyone can watch it at any point in time. But my chief at the time, he was like, "Hey, look, I like what you're doing. Some people won't like it, but I'll tell you 3 things." He goes, "Don't put the department in anything. Like I don't want to see any logos. He said, don't do anything stupid. Like don't be riding on top of fire trucks or anything. And if you get fired, you do this to yourself." I was like, "All right, man, you got a deal, bro."
Noted.
Yeah, noted. So I stuck with that. I stayed with those things. And then he actually left. We got a new chief. And our new chief is he's incredible, man. He's been really, really supportive, and I've tried to show the same support back. So, it's things that I believe in. We would run calls, and I would like see these little kids, and just sometimes parents can't afford Christmas gifts or whatever, and it's unfortunate. So I was like, I never want a kid showing up, December 26th or whatever, and talking about all the other kids are talking about how Santa Claus brought them something, but they didn't get something. I don't ever want kids to feel not special. So we last year we adopted 3 families.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we'll adopt families in the area. We'll buy them Christmas presents, give them to the parents so they can give them to the kids. Like we don't want to take, we show up in the fire truck, say Santa Claus dropped them off, and we bring them to them. And then we buy a Christmas dinner for the families as well. So they can have some stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow, man. Yeah, we do something that's similar to that to here. We go to the hospital for the people, for the kids who can't go, but
Yeah.
that's awesome, man.
I appreciate
So
it.
what's next? Is this thing has this? Are you satisfied with where you are now, or is this going to morph into something else? What's next for you?
I never know what's next, man. No, I am outrageously satisfied with the way that this has turned out today, or to date. I think it's incredible, man. The community that's come behind it. We have, just found like a good sense of humor for everybody that everyone can kind of laugh at. It's lighthearted. We see enough bad stuff, man. So it's good to be able to like relax a little bit.
There are things you can't unsee.
Yeah, exactly. So, nah, man, I'm very happy with the way it is. Hopefully it'll keep expanding. We've had talks of TV shows, which we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. And then obviously growing fire department coffee as much as possible. We've been able to create some really fun videos with those productions as well, and those are our like large productions. So we're like blowing up cars with water or whatever. we did a firefighter versus flamethrower, which is probably one of my favorite videos.
My friend of mine had one of those.
Oh, really?
That thing was awesome,
dude. Flamethrowers are the coolest and scariest things you will ever handle in your life, bro. It's so scary. So, but yeah, we wanted to see how many GPMs it took to stop a certain amount of BTUs, and it was really, really cool.
Wow, that must have been awesome.
It was
Get the
very
burnt
cool.
off. So fire department coffee is one of the reasons why you're here too. So tell us about fire department coffee and what did you do?
So Fire Department Coffee started 2016. It was founded by our CEO, Luke Schneider. He's a Navy veteran. He was a Rockford firefighter at the time. And he founded it, just love for coffee, that kind of thing. I met him about 6 months later. And we said from the beginning, we were like, hey, we need to be able to give back within this. The model of it, the foundation should be supporting brothers and sisters that are sick or injured. So we created the Fire Department Coffee Charitable Foundation. And then the reason we are here is 3 months ago, we said we wanted to find a local fire department and, or whatever it is, Green Bay, Miami. We wanted to be able to support the fire departments and give back to their resiliency funds or give back to their benevolence to be able to support those sick and injured first responders. So it's been cool, man. It's been a whole new adventure, and designing like designs that make sense to people, like this freaking the salty flamingo, like
Yes.
and and that's the thing, is like every single region is going to be different. We did leather cheese heads for Green Bay.
They must be pissed Aaron left.
Yeah, did he just blow his Achilles out like 2 days ago?
Fourth
Like,
play.
oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, not good at all. Yeah.
All right, so you just hooked up with us with the salted flamingo, and what's next?
So we're in talks with a couple departments. One, Indianapolis, we're gonna do some hopefully some fun stuff with them. Obviously, with FDIC being up there, and we were just up there with the NHRA. We're the official coffee of the National Hot Rod Association, which is very cool, man. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I saw something with NASCAR. You guys?
Yeah, we're in NASCAR as well. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
We're not worthy.
yeah, right. So Indianapolis, and then we are in talks with a very large department in New York. So yeah.
Wonder who that could be. So I got to tell you about the first time I saw you, because I saw you through your videos first, and then I did some Fools Conference. It was probably in Broward or something like that, and you came to speak. I was like, I'm ready to laugh my butt off. And you came up there, you said a few jokes, and then you got into mental health.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this dude even more.
Thanks, man.
So it really brought things back to home, because we have a lot of guys here in our department or that are struggling with it, and at least for me, I was a fan from even more of a fan after that, man.
It. And you actually, funny enough, you saw the first speech.
Really?
So, yeah, that Fools one was the first one I ever did. And it was, I had written or put together the PowerPoint and everything, and I was kind of like massaging out the concept, but I knew what I wanted to say. So you got to see the first one, man. That's cool. Yeah.
Wow.
It's changed a bit since then. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw the one that I did here for one of your resiliency.
Which one was it? Jocko? Or was it?
It's just before
Kyle?
Jocko. Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, and I saw you then. I was just like, man.
That guy, Gio Herrera, he got so mad at me because I pulled him into the thing. He's like, bro, you can't tell me about me crying. I was like, no, I got to tell everybody, buddy. We're supposed to cry, man. It's cool, dude.
Yeah, man. You definitely come down, and you've been to all of our events. Thank you for supporting us and being part of unofficial MDFR family,
Yeah, of course, man.
and so you knocked that out of the park. Any things of doing like a comedy show, or you on the road, or you still do that?
And so I travel now to do speeches. I travel for the I call it How to Hug 101.
Okay.
Yeah, just real basic, like human emotion, thought processes, expressing feelings is normal, that kind of thing. I've had a bunch of people ask me if I want to do stand-up comedy. I know I could blow it out of the water with stand-up comedy, but it wouldn't be what I do now because
Right.
I couldn't keep it clean the way that I like telling jokes. So I just think it's one of those things that I might just live in my mind saying that I would have sold out arenas, but I just never tried to attempt it. So, you know.
But no, you're definitely so funny guy.
I appreciate it, man.
Then where can people find you?
Yeah.
If you've been living under a rock, for the people who live under a rock, how can they find you, and how can they find Fire Department Coffee?
Absolutely. So for Chronicles, just any of the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the fun stuff. Same thing with coffee on all the same channels, Twitter. But if you want to support Metro-Dade and support firefighters in general, then you can go on firedepartmentcoffee.com. You can be able to, right when you pull up the home screen, you'll see the shirt and coffee club of the month. Buy that. And it's $5 from every shirt, $2 from every bag of coffee. It goes back to helping sick and injured first responders.
Awesome, man. Thank you, man. Hey, thank you for coming today.
Appreciate
Good
it,
talk. And hopefully we'll have you back soon.
Yeah, let's go.